Planet Titan. Brave mutants, robots, antimatter fields, and the primitive inhabitants as you find your way through the jungle. New Washington. First recover your memory, then go undercover to earn money. Finally, buy a false ID if you want to sneak back on Earth. Death Tower. Climb the 8 floors of the Death Tower labyrinth, avoid the deadly replicants, and win a free ticket to Earth. Earth. Big trouble. The authorities have discovered your false ID and send robot cops to capture you. Paradise Club. You discovered the aliens' plans but somehow end up being captured and mysteriously transported through space. Planet Morphs. You materialize on their home planet. Now all you have to do is destroy the morphs and live to tell about it. This is Flashback, the quest for identity developed by Delphine Software International, published by US Gold, released in 1994. And it's part of the Flashback franchise. Were there more than one game in the Flashback franchise? Quest for Identity, Fade to Black, and the re-released Flashback. I gotcha. So this is Delphine Software worked on these really kind of, I don't want to say over the top, but what they were managing to do on consoles was really, really impressive. And I will never, ever, ever fault the game for looking the way it does and using the cinematic style that it uses to tell the story that it does. It works really well. It looks really good. Hand-drawn backdrops. All the animation is rotoscoped, which I really like. I like rotoscoped animation. It makes it look really fluid. Kind of Prince of Persia-y in terms of gameplay and look. Let's see. The game was a commercial and critical success, listed as the best-selling French game of all time, according to Guinness World Records, followed by the sequel, Fade to Black, in 1995, and 2003 Flashback Remake was done by VectorCell for PC and consoles. Cinematic platformer, plays like Prince of Persia, we talked about, and Another World, which I think we might be looking at later. Each level spans a large number of non-scrolling screens, nearly all of which feature multiple levels of altitude, requiring us, Conrad, to jump, grab onto ledges, climb, use elevators, and drop to lower levels. Conrad exhibits realistic human running speed and jumping ability, as well as realistic weaknesses. He will fall if he dies from too far. He carries a pistol with unlimited ammo and a force shield which will absorb a certain number of shots before needing to be recharged, acting as Conrad healths, how many attacks he can survive, and a portable force field with unlimited use, which can act as a barrier to block shots. As you progress through the game's 7 levels, he is increasingly presented with spatial puzzles requiring you to discover how to guide him toward his destination. Later in the game, you get a teleportation device and is able to progress by throwing it and teleporting to otherwise unreachable areas. The game was originally released on 3.5 floppy disks for DOS, then re-released on the CD-ROM for the Sega CD, and later adapted to the PC CD-ROM, 3DO, and CDI. Features redone cinematic FMVs with voice acting and sound effects. That would be kind of interesting. Sega CD version also has voice work for gameplay and CD tracks for each level that were not carried to other CD-ROM conversions. I might look into that. The Jaguar port has a title screen that these have, but the music is different and the cutscenes are as on the originals. It sold roughly 750,000 copies by 1995. Where's the reception data for the Super Nintendo version? Sega CD, Genesis, Sega CD. I don't see any specific to it. Computer Gaming World approved its superbly rotoscoped graphics and fluid movement with sound card audio. Criticized the awkward interface and use of save points. The magazine concluded that it's an excellent game that truly creates a sense of reality. Oh, there we go. EGM praised the SNES version for having improved graphics and music over the Genesis version and remarked that it's slow-paced at times but retains your interest through its compelling plot and involving puzzles. Megatech conceded that although there were 5 big levels, finishing the game did not take very long. Nintendo Power praised the graphics, story, and animation, calling it almost cinematic, while noting that play control takes some getting used to. And that's where we're going to hit my wall for this game. I do not like how this game controls. I do not like how Prince of Persia controls. I do not like how Another World controls. It all feels very, very clunky. What's another game I could liken it to? Like Blackthorn? Movement is not fluid enough to match the fluid graphics. Does that make sense? You move a lot harder than it looks like you move, I guess. There's that. But the story is really good, and it is told very well. I have never played the game to completion. We do have a Let's Play of this over at the website, as done by Ragnats, which is very much worth checking out. He is much more into these games than I am, and much better at these games than I am as well. And, you know, I'm just going to say it because it's true. I never, ever will say that I am better at anything than anybody else that I am clearly not. Let's see. This won Best Show of Winter CES according to Nintendo Power. So there's something. EGM gave it an 8.2 out of 10. Megatech and Mega gave it 94%. I know those are more Genesis things, but it's not too terribly different. If you like this kind of thing, it's very much worth a play. So keep that in mind, would you?